it's a stacked linebacker room. There are a lot of players vying for opportunities. What do you make of the signing? What can Zach Cunningham bring? Because it kind of has the feel of, hey, if the Lions coaching staff can get more out of the veteran than the Broncos and Eagles did, if he can kind of return to form from his play maybe a couple years ago, maybe they got something there in an inexpensive depth piece.
Yeah, I think if you get 2020's Zach Cunningham, where he made a combined 164 tackles, led the league with 106 solo tackles, had 3 sacks and 7 tackles for loss, that's a heck of a get for the Lions. But that was 4 seasons ago, and you don't really know what he's going to bring to the table at this point in his career. Last year, he played just 15 defensive snaps for the Denver Broncos, was shuttled between the active roster and the practice squad. I think what he brings to the table at this current stage is, number one, veteran depth. If they're not going to have Anzalone for the voluntary workouts, it'd be nice to get another veteran linebacker in there who can come in and do things at a high level and set the standard. And I think Cunningham can be that guy. And then assuming they keep him around for training camp and things of that nature, I think that this is a guy who's going to seriously compete for a roster spot. When you talk about the top end of that linebacker room, you've got a lot of talent there with Alex Anzalone and Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez. That kind of core group. Grant Stewart is another one who can really bring it. But then you look at the back end of that roster, and these are all guys that had to play significant roles at some point. Guys like Trevor Nowaski, Anthony Pittman, Ezekiel Turner. Like, these are the kind of guys that Zach Cunningham can go out and maybe battle for their roster spot. And I think that assuming he makes it through OTAs and he's just not a depth addition if Anzalone's not going to be there and he's in the mix in training camp, this is a guy who's going to go out there in the preseason and probably get quite a few snaps and probably do a pretty good job and make things difficult for the coaching staff when it comes to whittling down that final roster. So I'm very intrigued by the fit here. At his best, he's one of the best tacklers in the game and had 3 straight seasons with over 100 tackles. So this is a guy who can really do it and has proved he can do it. Again, the production the last couple of years, maybe not so high. He did have 85 tackles for the Eagles in 2023. Couldn't really get it going with the Broncos. He's going to be 31 years old. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm really intrigued by this fit because, like I said, at his best, he was really solid and can be a guy the Lions can rely on. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But this is an intriguing addition, to say the least.